Hey guys, I'll just give you a little update on the spring here. It is March 29th today, and I'm out looking for a spot to put a turkey blind here. I'm on some private land. Got a little creek bottom that runs down there and then goes out to this field. And I'm not sure if you can see there, but here's the line. It's plowed under field here, and then it's hay field back that way. Um, and as you look down this fence line, there's a four-wheeler trail. And I've had cameras set on this four-wheeler trail, and I'm getting a fair amount of turkeys walking down it. So I'm trying to find a spot to pop up a blind. I didn't do any filming turkey hunting last year. I don't know, I was just a little exhausted of filming from the previous fall. I filmed a ton of grouse hunts and tried to film a lot of deer hunting, but shot a doe, didn't film my buck tag 2 years ago. I did the same thing last year, did a lot of grouse hunting. I did get a buck and a doe on film last year. So I'm going to try to turkey hunt and get it on film this year if I can. I've had a couple of really nice springs in a row. Here in Minnesota, I've shot birds on public land 3 out of the last 4 years, but I've really had to put the miles on it. 2021, I biked back in probably close to 3 miles on this gated piece and was able to get a really nice tom. That was probably the best hunt I've ever been on, as far as just being, it was so exciting. I was on the ground, no blind, with a bow, and I called 2 toms within 10 yards of me and shot one of them. So that was an awesome experience. I really enjoyed doing that. This year I am going to be having surgery in 2 days. Monday. Today's Saturday. Fairly major surgery. I'm going to be in the hospital for a few days. And then once I get to come back home, I am going to be on a 10-pound lifting restriction for like 6 weeks. Although the doctor said he's not quite as concerned of the amount of weight, just that you're not holding your breath and pushing hard trying to lift anything that's remotely heavy. So I don't know how things are going to go. I'm going to be laid up for a while. I'm going to be off work for a month. And during that month, turkey season is going to open. So the public land stuff where I'm walking miles or biking or doing any of that kind of stuff, carrying gear with me, is going to be just off the table this year. I'm not going to Wisconsin this year just because I'm going to take a full month off of work. So it's just going to be Minnesota this year. So it's one of the reasons I'm popping up blinds now, even though it's 3 weeks away from turkey season. It's still cold. You can see there's still spots of snow and ice back in the woods. It's getting close, I guess, but I just need to get this done because I'm going to be pretty much out of commission for a while here. So I want to have blinds set up so that if there are turkeys using this area, it's a spot where I can walk in, a couple 100 yards, sit in a blind, sit up in a nice comfortable chair, and hopefully be able to get, a few turkey hunts in, hopefully be able to bring my boys out. My youngest 2 boys are really excited. Attaboy, now put the safety back on. Yep. Oh, crushed it. Hey guys, just wanted to do a little check-in here. Tomorrow is opening day of turkey season. And actually yesterday was the 2-week mark since my surgery. I kind of briefly talked about it when I was out looking for a spot to put a blind here a few weeks ago, that I was going to be having a relatively major surgery. I had to spend a few nights in the hospital, and then they sent me home. And I can tell you that first week was a pretty rough week. Even after I got home, I just struggled to eat. Couldn't keep food down one of the days where I was throwing up, and I thought I might actually end up back in the hospital. But since then, things have really continued to get better every day. Had a few rough days sprinkled in, but overall getting better. I did lose 13 pounds in that first week. Just like I said, not able to eat, very small amounts of food every day, struggling to get up off the couch, just kind of laying around all day, walking a little bit, but just didn't feel good, didn't have the energy to do a whole lot of that stuff. Last week things were starting to get better. Still didn't have energy. I'd get up, move around a little bit, but spending the majority of my time just resting. This being the third week now, I am starting to feel quite a bit better. I'm getting some of my energy levels back. I've gone for some walks the last couple days, and feeling really good doing that. But like I said, the public land stuff is just going to be off the table this year. I know the last 2 years I've shot my turkeys on public land here in Minnesota, and I really enjoy being mobile and kind of chasing the birds, calling, trying to call them in. Where on some of these smaller private pieces, it's tougher to do that because you just don't have the room to go before you hit the property lines. But there's just no way I could put on those kind of miles. There's no way I can haul a bunch of gear right now. I am on a 10-pound weight lifting restriction, so I just can't be lifting anything heavy. So just staying on these smaller pieces of private, sitting in a blind where I can comfortably sit for a couple of hours. I don't think I'll be able to do much more than just some morning hunts. There's just probably no way I'm going to be comfortable and able to do more than a few hours at a time. But I will say the recovery plan from the doctor is that I am supposed to be progressively more active every few days. So that is the plan. Is just to try to get out of the house a little bit, try to move a little bit, and try to be as active as I can be, because I do have next week off of work. Then I got to go back to work. So I got to be preparing my body and preparing myself to go back to work for an 8-hour day. Because I am a school teacher. That's relatively demanding 8-hour day. I can't, take an hour break and take a nap in the middle of the day because I've got kids with me all day long. So even though I am on medical leave and there's not a lot I can do right now, I'm hoping to get out for some morning hunts and just, like I said, start getting more and more active so that I can be ready to go back to work in less than 2 weeks. The plan for tomorrow, I'm going to take my 9-year-old out. The property that I set the blind on has had quite a bit of turkey activity. Lots of jakes, lots of hens. Unfortunately, not much for toms. I did have one tom that I was getting pictures of. I think he was actually roosting in those woods, but I have not seen him now in really close to a week. But we are still seeing turkeys most every day out there on the camera that I have out. I walked out there here, I don't know, late last week, and there were turkeys on the field north of there. There's a plowed under field that I think the birds are using quite a bit. Um, Check out my gun here. This is what I set up for my 9-year-old. Found out that my 9-year-old is left eye dominant, but he is very right-handed. We tried getting him to shoot a gun left-handed, and he just can't do it. But when he's shooting right-handed, he struggles to close his left eye. He forgets about it. He closes his right eye, and then he just can't hit anything. Now, he has shot turkeys the last 2 years in a row. That first turkey, he missed the first shot and then was able to get it on the second shot. And I've helped him quite a bit, just lining the gun up, getting him set up on the gun, making sure he is pointing down toward the turkey. And we're going to let him do it a lot more independently this year. We had him shooting this gun before I had surgery, and he was shooting it really, really, really well. This is a New England Arms partner, and it's a pretty heavy gun. It's a youth 20 gauge, and I went with 2 3/4 inch Federal TSS number 9 shot, which is a nice low recoil gun, low recoil load for this gun. I've had both my 6 and 9-year-old shooting, and they've both shot really, really well with it. With the red dot scope, if he tries to close his right eye, he can't see out of the scope. So it's just a good mental check for him that if he can't see the red dot, he's got to close the correct eye. And he knows that, but like I said, he just kind of forgets at times. We put a Mossy Oak graphics kit on this, camouflage the gun up. I got sling mounts on it, so it's got the sling, and then, like I said, with the red dot scope now, it's kind of going to be our designated turkey gun for the boys to use. I did leave a modified choke in this, just so it's a little more forgiving. I shot it at 30 yards, and at 30 yards, it shoots really well. It's got a good dense pattern. We'll have no problem killing a turkey at 30 yards, and we probably could shoot a little further than that, but hopefully we can get the birds in close. And like I said, I just want to have a little more forgiving pattern, so we did leave that modified choke in there. But the boys are shooting the gun really well. They're really excited, so we'll see you in the turkey blind tomorrow.
Yes! Yeah! Got one. Yeah!
Because he might be able to come out here and hunt. Nice job, bud. He's got little nubs.
Yeah.
Let's pick him up. Let me see him. All right. Let's go crawl back in the blind and see if we can call one in.
What do you?
Attaboy. Just coming right into the decoys. All right, well, hey, opening morning was a success. 7:30, I don't know if we called them in or if they were just coming in, but we brought in a group of 4 jakes, and I had just called, and then I kind of stood up to scan the field, and the birds were 15 yards from us. I paced it off, I guess, and he made an 18-yard shot. It hit the lead bird, put it right down. The other birds kind of sat around a little bit there. And then we spent another hour and a half in the blind hoping to maybe call a tom in, but have not even heard a gobble this morning. Haven't seen another turkey yet, so I'm glad we made do with the birds that came in. We do have cameras out on the other farm, and of course the other farm had a tom strutting for some hens this morning on it, so we might get some breakfast and we might maybe rest up a little bit and then go try and hop across the highway and see if we can find a bird over there. But hey, opening morning 2025, and Grayson shot his 3rd turkey.
I've been here I've been here 3 times. And I've shot a turkey 3 times.
All right, guys, I know you can't see me here, but we're out for morning number 2, and we literally have birds gobbling on all sides of us. So we're expecting a good morning here. I got my 6-year-old out with me, and he's gonna be trying for his very first turkey. So I'm gonna get quiet, and it might happen fast this morning because we've got birds gobbling everywhere this morning. All right, hold your ticket tail up. Let's get a little video. Oh, guys, this was better than anything I could have ever expected. And it just goes to show you why sometimes you just got to come out and hunt. I've got a cell cam on a stump right behind me here, and I've been watching this little opening that leads out to this field. Like I mentioned, there's a plowed under field, and then there's an open hay field. And I've been getting some jakes back here. I've been getting some hens. I think it was either Sunday or Monday. I had a whole bunch of turkeys back here, but I was not seeing any longbeards. None. I had a picture of a strutter back here yesterday, but again, I could not see a beard on that bird in the pictures, but it looked like it had a full fan, so I was pretty sure it was a tom. So we decided we were going to come over here today. Got Hayden, and this is Hayden's first ever turkey, and he shot it all by himself with the Youth 20 gauge. Like I said in my previous video, I don't know if I'll combine them or if I'll do two separate videos, but we've got the Youth 20 gauge with 2 3/4 inch number 9 TSS Federals, and it's a really low recoil round. That Youth shotgun, even though it's 20 gauge, Hayden handles it just fine. He's able to get down, he's able to reach the trigger, and anyways, we called in, I'm not sure how many longbeards, 4 or 5, maybe more. There was a couple jakes in the group that the longbeards were chasing, and I heard them spit drum, and I looked out the back window, and they were 5 yards from the blind. And they came right behind us, 3 of them. If you could have reached your hand out the back door, you could have grabbed them. They were that close to us. And Hayden just couldn't get the gun on them because they were so close. And they were trying to figure out a way to get through the fence. They were ramming into the fence. And they ended up creeping back out to the field. And I thought maybe we had blown it. Maybe we weren't going to get those birds. And I did some calling. And they came right back. And that lead bird, he was ramming the fence. He was doing everything he could. And Hayden just could not get a shot at the 2 birds that were in the lead going up and down the fence line. And then he looked back, and there was one a little further from him. And he's like, there's one, I can shoot that one. And he did. He kind of body hit it a little bit, broke a wing, broke the leg. And the other 2 birds that were on that fence, they could see my decoy. I had a strutting Jake decoy out. And they just kept doing it, and I was able to take the gun from Hayden, and I was able to shoot another bird. So we doubled up. That's the first turkey I've ever shot with a 20 gauge, and I'll tell you what, that Youth 20 gauge with the red dot scope on it is a pretty sweet little setup. I really like that. Had, I don't know, just an amazing hunt, and we are done by, I think it was 6:34 when I looked at my phone. But we had birds gobbling south of us. We had this group here just hammering, and they were on the ground before legal shooting light. I think they flew down around 5:42 is when I heard the wings go. So they were roosted close enough to us that we heard them fly down. But just what an amazing morning. We are tagged out. We shot 3 turkeys in 2 morning hunts. Yesterday I brought Grayson home. We had breakfast. I sat on the couch, took a little nap, and rested for a while. And then I brought him over to his grandma's house, and I went to a baseball game yesterday. But just gorgeous day it was. I was chomping to get back out, and came out this morning. I asked Hayden last night if he wanted to go, if he wanted to skip school, and that didn't take much convincing. He was super excited to come out, and I'm really glad we did our first turkey hunt together, and we doubled up on 2 nice toms.